CKMS 102.7 FM, Radio Waterloo.
Are you an artist, band, or record label? We want you to send us your music so we can put it on the radio. Not only this station, but stations across Canada. Check out earshot-distro.ca and share your music with more than 100 radio stations and programmers across the country. Earshot Distro is made by and for the campus community radio sector to help emerging musicians. Uploads cost $7 per song or $50 per album. Learn more at earshot-distro.ca.
You are now listening to CKMS 102.7 FM radio, and that was Wake Up and Rise by Diggin' Roots. We are here with Two White Feather and Laurie Gentle Eagle, and this is the Red Road Journey, where we aim to amplify Indigenous voices to heal ourselves, all our relations, our communities, and our planet. We are broadcasting you from the traditional territories of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people. We are continuing our conversation about FASD on today's episode of the Red Road Journey. Last Sunday, we learned that fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is an inmate, invisible, misunderstood disability that hits Indigenous communities hard because of colonization and assimilation practices. White men introduced the poison, the mother drinks to cope with trauma. Child is born effective problem with thinking, concentration, memory, balance, and movement, vision and hearing, managing emotions, social skills, facial features like cleft palate and small eyes, impulsive, poor judgment, lack of inhabitations, poor boundaries, hypoactive, inflexible, RX badly to change, easily overwhelmed. Behavior younger than they are. Child is taken into care or adopted out. Unlikely to get diagnosis at an early intervention. Child ends up in criminal justice system. Child/adult almost always struggles in school, at work, with relationships. They may also have co-occurring disabilities like mental health and addictions.
now going to play some music. Some Days by Brent Morgan is up first. So Some Days by Brent Morgan was actually a tune that I came across on the Facebook page where we met Matt Sinclair, who spoke last week on fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. And we also met today's guest, which we'll hear from a little bit later. Her name is Laurie Anderson. And again, that Facebook page is for anyone really who is interested in learning more about fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and it's called Flying with Broken Wings. So here's the song that I found off that web page, or rather Facebook page, called Some Days, Brent Morgan.
Some days I feel I'd make a good sunset. Some days I just don't wanna give up yet. Some days it's hard to breathe. Some days I'm over being me. Some days, some days, some days. Some days I try my best to seem happy. Some days this place seems better off without me. Some days I'm overwhelmed. Some days I'm lost inside this hell. Some days, some days, some days. Some days I wonder what it's like to live an ordinary life. Maybe I won't feel this way someday. Some days I feel like everyone hates me. Some days I question, why would God create me? Some days I'm holding strong. Some days I'm barely hanging on. Some days, some days, some days. Some days I wonder what it's like to live an ordinary life. Maybe I won't feel this way someday. Some days I wonder what it's like to live an ordinary life. Maybe I won't feel this way someday.
And we're now going to play a song by Caitlin Goulet. She is Métis, Cree, Ojibwe, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, and French, and she identifies as neurodivergent. In other words, she has a differently wired brain. And Caitlin's song is called Crazy Crazy.
Excuse me, will I have an existential crisis? I will be right back after these brief messages. Voices in my head taking up the time. Everything is fine. Everything is fine, fine. Your eyes so wide while you try to tell me to chill. Rolling, we will. We're permanent residents. is fine, fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine, fine. Who you calling crazy, crazy? Is it me, baby? Who you calling crazy, crazy? Is it me, baby? Who you calling crazy, crazy? Is it me, baby? Who you calling crazy, crazy? Is it me,
The Truth and Reconciliation Report identified calls to action specifically regarding fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. The criminal justice system sees the bad behavior and fails to understand that the brain is damaged. Those with FASD may look like they lack remorse. They may plead guilty simply to get court over with. They may agree to something that isn't in their best interest. They may change their mind. They may tell you what you want to hear. And they may end up in jail for something they don't even understand. They don't get jail rules, and they are vulnerable and unsafe in custody. They often breach and reoffend due to difficulties with time or prioritizing appointments and not learning from consequences. The Truth and Reconciliation calls to action ask for increased resources, training, and powers for all members of the criminal justice system, police, judges, probation officers, parole officers, correctional officers regarding FASD. We need to ensure that diagnosis is done, not because of the label, but because of what can come in terms of supports from having that process done. Community sentencing is something that we need to look at, as well as mandatory minimum sentencing for those who are going to be incarcerated. We need therapeutic courts, similar to those we have for intimate partner violence or mental health and addiction. And we need restorative justice measures. We need court support workers and mentors that understand fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. And because there is so very little FASD supports in community, we need more services that are at the very least FASD informed. We also need release orders that can actually be followed and don't set the person up for failure. So those are just some of the things that were mentioned in the Truth and Reconciliation Report. And I believe those calls to action were, I think, 34 and 35. Don't quote me on that. I will put that correct reference up when we upload this to our YouTube channel.
So, we're going to play Mama's Hands, and that's by Ki Aloha, I believe. Songwriter, singer, drummer, dancer, who is mixed heritage, Hawaiian, Tabine, Chinese, Irish, Indigenous, and she lives with a a chronic illness.
My mama's hands, they hold the magic, the key to my ancestors' plans. They taught me to grow my seeds of complexities, layers of me that I will come to know. In my mama's eyes, they taught me to see my own truth when it's in disguise. Inalima makoihine. My mama, my mama, my mama, mama's hands. My mama, my mama, my mama's hands. My mama, my mama, my mama, mama's hands. My mama, my mama, my mama's hands. Inalima oku makuahine. Inalima oku makuahine. Inalima oku makuahine. Mama, inalima oku makuahine. Oh, ke aloha, ko uinoa. Mama gave me my name and I'd like to explain it means more than hello and goodbye. Take it to her, so don't even try. Take it to her, now don't even try. Que aloha's my name, I'm trying to reclaim, let go of the shame, your liberation's a game. I'm more than Pocahontas, Mulan, the Moana, and Merida. My blood of Hermione Granger, a weaver and a dreamer. Turn identity crisis to some nice advice. Just be yourself, yes, cause we're all blessed. Until your family crests, you should invest. For me it starts with my mama, my sibs, and me. We, like rivers meet the ocean, complete the essence of aloha, what it means to just breathe. In our blood is the recipe, in our blood is the recipe. Yeah, yeah, we're ancestors' biggest dreams. We're ancestors' biggest dreams, yeah, yeah. My mama, my mama, my mama, mama's hands. My mama, my mama, my mama's hands. My mama, my mama, my mama, mama's hands. My mama, my mama, my mama's hands. Inalima oku makuahine. Inalima oku makuahine. Inalima oku makuahine. Mama, inalima oku makuahine.
If you want to join us last week, you would have heard our interview with Matt Sinclair, a Cree man who shared his life living experience with FASD. We met him through a Facebook group called Flying with Broken Wings. We also met our next interviewer that way. Here's her conversation with Laurie Anderson. She is a parent, a coach, and an educator about FASD. So, here we go. So, hello. I'm with Laurie Anderson. She's first of all, she's a mother and FASD coach and / teacher too. So, thank you for coming on to our podcast. So, the first question is, can you introduce yourself and tell us about your daughter?
Sure, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I am mom to a 26-year-old daughter who I often call her an acquired daughter. So I started as her big sister. And we met when she was in grade 1. And we have traveled quite the journey. So she was taken into care, foster care system, when she was in grade 3. And when she was aging out of care, they asked if I would be interested in becoming her legal guardian and trustee. And after consulting with my husband and our 3 sons, they said, Mom, you're already doing it. Why not do it with the legal authority that you should have? I said yes, and here we are today. So she calls me Mom. She is from Saddle Lake First Nation in just northeast Alberta. And, we work really hard to keep her connected to her community, to her aunt. Sadly, her mom passed away a number of years ago. And she is not connected to her father. He is from Enoch, Cree Nation, just on the west side of Edmonton. But I believe both parents undiagnosed FASD, and so he struggles to know how to deal with his daughter, right? Doesn't quite understand his, whatever's going on for him, whether it's FASD or something else. So, we navigate the world as a family. She's part of our family. This Christmas, we finally got her name changed. She wanted to change her name.
Aww.
And I encouraged her I really wanted her to keep her Indigenous identity. So I encouraged her to hyphenate our name with her mom's maiden. And, given that the Indigenous culture is a matriarchal culture, we thought it was really important for her to keep that identity. So she is now Tannen Red Crow Anderson. And we got we got all of the papers just before Christmas. So I framed her new birth certificate, her record of name change, and we gave it to her at Christmas, and it was the last thing that she opened. And she, it was really, really interesting because she opened it, she started crying, happy tears and overwhelmed. And after, everybody was, yay, and Christmas, and, each of my boys, and sat with her and said, show me this. And I sat there and, I have to say I had happy tears, and our middle son looked at her and said, effing A, it's about time, right? Like the boys have really accepted her into the family. She lives with our youngest son, and we navigate this journey together. I have built a village around her, and we, I use everyone in our team, anyone who can help. Helpers come in different packages and different ways, but I welcome any helpers to our village, and, are open to everything and all the help that we can get. So it's been a journey, and through this journey, I became educated. I thought I knew what I was taking on. I thought I understood FASD. Little did I know. So I started to get more education, and I found Jeff Noble's group, FASD Success, and became a moderator on his FASD parent support group. It's a free group on Facebook. And then I took his Caregiver Kickstart program, and I am now a coach in his program.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I speak at conferences. I spoke at the last Can FASD conference. I've spoken at the Lakeland FASD conference. And, did a master class with Jeff's group on harm reduction and interdependence. So those are my two soapboxes that I will stand on forever. We are all interdependent. No one lives independently. I hate the word independent because we just don't. We don't live that way. And so I really foster living interdependently. We all need each other. We all need help. We need helpers. And so modeling that for my daughter and having her be able to accept that there are things she needs help with and not be afraid to ask for it, right? What are her strengths? What does she do well? And, and then where does she need help, right? And how to ask. So that's my passion.
Yeah. Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's interesting because certainly within the First Nations worldview, right, all of those things are just a given, right? It's not a disability. It's about having different gifts, right? And also, that wraparound approach just happens naturally because at the heart of it all is family and community connections, right?
Yeah.
So I would agree. Being non-Indigenous, that independence is really something that comes from our colonial worldview, right?
It does.
Yeah,
it does, and I have totally embraced. I love the Indigenous culture. I love the circle. I love the connection. I love family. I love that. Although it's hard to figure out family because everybody's an auntie or an uncle.
Yes.
Who's who in the zoo.
And the cousins.
And everybody's a cousin. But I love the support. I love the way it works. I also am working towards co-facilitating. I work for the government of Alberta, and we have an introductory Indigenous course. And it goes through the history. And I, as an ally, my commitment to Tannin and reconciliation is that I do what I can to, I can't fix, and I can't change the past, but I can certainly help to educate and make sure that people understand the history. And, when they see a homeless person who may be Indigenous, understand the trauma, understand that intergenerational trauma that has brought this person to where they are, and that it's really not their fault, right? And how can we support them in being in finding help and finding whatever it is that they're looking for, right? So that's really important to me, is to be an ally and in whatever way I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So sure, just let me touch on that. So how was FASD, addiction, and mental health touch the lives of you and your daughter?
All three. My daughter also has many diagnoses, mental health, ADHD. Some of those diagnoses, like ODD, or oppositional defiant disorder, I don't believe she has that. I believe what she has is FASD, and an overwhelmed brain that says, I just can't. Right? I just can't. In that moment, I can't access the skills that I need to do whatever it is you've asked. I'm not being oppositional. I'm not being defiant. I can't access it. So my daughter deals with anxiety and depression and attachment issues. Abandonment is huge for her. And, even though I've been in her life, I am the most consistent person in her life, she still struggles with, you're going to leave me. If I screw up, you're going to leave me. Right? So every time we talk, every time I see her, every time I hug her, it's, I love you always and forever. And then she says, the same thing, and then she says, you know it, and I say, you know it, right? Just a reminder of every single time that I'm not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're here for her, right? And even if she goes somewhere, right? Because living with us is her choice. She can walk out the door, right? But even if she goes somewhere, we are here. We will always be here for her, right? Always and forever.
Yeah.
So, FASD learning, I think the biggest impact for me is learning how to parent differently, learning it's can't, not won't, learning that FASD is a permanent brain injury. There is no consequence, there is no discipline, there is no punishment that is going to cure brain damage, ever. So understanding that, and understanding that, I think the biggest thing for me is that my daughter did nothing to deserve this. Just as you did, right? Like, you didn't do anything, and yet you live with the consequences of a permanent brain injury with every moment of every day of your life, right? She lives that. I can't imagine what that's like. So having empathy for, she's trying. She wants to be normal. She wants to be everything that we expect. But her brain doesn't cooperate. So what she wants and what actually happens are two very different things. So how can we support that? How can we help her to become all that she wants to be, right? While keeping her safe, while keeping her, she has been clean of crystal meth for, it'll be 8 years on September 1st. And I'm so proud of her for that. Alcohol has proven much more difficult, right? Tana lacks dopamine in her brain. So having her her search for dopamine. I often say I'm going to write a book, Desperately Seeking Dopamine, right? I've asked her psychiatrist, can we hook up an IV? Right? Or can we just, or put an implant in so I can give her a shot of dopamine? But she just, is constantly searching for that. So how do we help her? How do we help her to find help? All FASD, mental health and addiction, is, we live that every day. And we support her in finding ways to, stay sober, stay clean, and live her best life.
Have you and her, your family as a whole, have you encountered any problems with the mental health and justice system as a result of all that you're navigating?
Yeah. Not as much just in the early days, in the time, that transition period between when she was leaving foster care and coming under my care, we had some issues with the justice system. And we were fortunate because she had a court appearance, and I don't know, because I wasn't legal guardian at the time, I didn't have all the details, and Tannen's memory is not that great, so, she's, I don't know. But she had to go to court, and her anxiety was so high, she couldn't walk in the door. She got in the building, but she could not walk in the courtroom. And we were fortunate that the staff, whoever it was that was there, was able to have the charges dropped.
Okay.
And I believe it was a misdemeanor, but that's not the story for most. Tannen has 5 brothers, and 2 of which have been incarcerated a number of times. They don't have supports. right? The difference between her brothers and Tannen is she has me and our family supporting her, and her brothers don't, right? They don't have, or didn't have that support. They have since been connected to an elder, and the one brother has realized, I can't be in the city. Can't. Right? So he's living on reserve, a different reserve than his fam.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not, now, the elder's not, I don't believe, FASD informed, so he's not getting those supports, but he's getting the support of the community on the reserve that he's there, right? So he's doing much better. Mental health, Tannen has had, I want to say 4 hospitalizations. They don't get FASD. They're not able to support her. They're not able to, again, they kept her safe, but often cause more issues than what she went in with. We do have a therapist at Dreamcatchers, just in Ardrossan, just east of Edmonton, and it's a nature-assisted program.
Oh,
so they
wonderful.
work with rescued animals who have been abused. And so they use the animals to help her
cool.
and their clients
Mm-hmm.
to understand their feelings. We know that traditional mental health therapies like, talk therapy, CBD, DBT, those, unless they're FASD informed and they make adjustments for FASD, they're not going to help.
Mm-hmm.
Because, our kids struggle to remember. I don't know is the safe answer. Tannen struggles to be introspective and to look inside herself. And one of the worst questions you can ask her is, why did you do that?
Mm.
She doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Her brain, lack of impulse control, opportunity, never ends well, right? So the nature-assisted therapist is amazing. Part of our village, and we love her. We work really well together, and the town has made some good progress. It's slow, though. It takes time, more time than we'd ever like it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Right? We have to give them time. To say about this and get back to me.
Yeah.
Those are some of our better conversations, right?
Yeah,
because I
for
give
sure.
her time to process what I've asked, right?
Yeah.
Our kids live in a 1-second world, the 10-second or a 1 minute, or sometimes a day or 2 or a week, right? And so when we give time to process, we'll get better answers. But if we insist on an answer right now, it's, I don't know, I don't remember, right? Gonna get any.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, we lost her. Oh my goodness. Let's pause this.
we will pause.
So we got Laurie back. So we have one more question before we got time's up. So what have you done to help connect with your daughter to family, culture, support her through her daily life struggles, help her maintain sobriety?
So I know you said you talked about that village. Yeah. So, yeah.
Our village includes her maternal aunt and a number of aunts, but one in particular who we're quite close with and who stay in action with. We try and have Tannen go visit her a couple of times a year for a couple of days. The satellite powwow, and ceremony when we can. We often will smudge, and I'd like to do far more smudging than we have been doing. Tannen last October on Orange Shirt Day introduced our whole family to smudging, and we did a circle, and we smudged and taught everybody. And she was in tears when our little...
Oh.
Sure, what our...
That's
the technology is wonderful when it works.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want me to just keep going then?
Yeah. So you talked about the smudging.
Yeah. So our 18-month-old son, our grandson at the time, reached in and grabbed the smoke and put it to his face, and it was so sweet and so, and kind of was in tears. She was so touched by that. So we try and smudge. We have we do 2 very specific smudges on her mom's birthday and the anniversary of her mom's death. We smudge, and then we conversation with her mom. We tell her mom what she should be, what Tannen's proud of, what she's accomplished. We try and attend. Tannen's learned how to bead, and I know how to bead, and so we're working to teach her how to bead on a loom and bead on fabric, and she makes jewelry. So, and I said I'm also part of my Indigenous introductory course at my office at the government of Alberta, and so connected with elders there and Indigenous staff that work for the government, and I'm constantly learning from them. I made Tannen a ribbon skirt, and we really work hard to keep her connected to her community, and as part of her sobriety, right now she's finishing up a program at the Lakeland second floor Center for Women, and we're working really hard with them in how we can support, finding ways that we can support Tannen better in her sobriety and making different choices for herself and going in the direction that she wants to go in. So, we work really hard to support Tannen in reaching the goals that she wants to reach, and not repeating the journey that her parents took, right? So...
Okay, so maybe we'll move on to the next question, and that's around sharing some tips on managing caregiver burnout in particular.
So, I think, caregiver burnout is so real, and, it's really important, as I've talked about, building a village where you have people who can support not only your loved one who has FASD, but you as well. Part of that is, self-care, being able to find some respite. Somebody that can spend some time with your loved one while you can go take care of yourself. I also, that's not always easy or available at the time that you might need it. So for me, it's finding those glimmers. It's going out in my yard and, seeing the flowers in the summertime and, spending 10 minutes in my garden, right? Enjoying nature, getting my toes in the sand. I'm out at my cottage right now, and we have lots of clay in the soil. So I love finding after a rain, going out and getting my bare toes in that earth, and feeling that slippery clay, being connected to Mother Earth, right? Just enjoying those moments. The other thing I do is try and reflect on the progress we've made. And, so often we focus on the hard stuff. And, this is often extreme parenting, right? Our caregivers, you know, those who love individuals with FASD are doing extreme parenting, right? They're super parents. You know, they should all have cakes because we do, you know, the effort and the love and the willingness of parents to change in the way that they parent so that they can accommodate their kids is huge, massive. And we do it with a ton of judgment from people who don't get it, who don't understand, who think, oh, just, you know, they just need to, you know, smarten up, right? They can do this. Like, you know, you're just enabling your son or daughter. And so it's really important to be connected to community, to find an FASD support group in your area, to get training, to understand FASD, because without that training and understanding that it's can't not want, it's the definition of insanity. We keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, and we never get it.
Yeah.
So getting the training, finding those moments, celebrating the wins, and looking back and seeing just how far you've actually come will absolutely help. Being mindful, right? We have a coach in our program who talks about PQ reps, which is where you take your thumb and one of your fingers and you rub them together, and you can feel the ridges in your fingers. And when you focus on that, it brings the cortisol level down, and you're able to calm yourself and regulate. Right? So we can't help our kids regulate if we are dysregulated. Right?
Absolutely.
It's like Jeff Noble says, it's often like, you know, taking a match into a fireworks factory. Never going to end well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you really want to, you know, make sure that you're getting that time. And it's hard at times to find folks that can do respite, you know. Finding that time where I can get Tannen out to see her Aunt Shirley is really important. It's important for her to be connected to her family, but it's also important for our family to have that respite, to have that break, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we'd like to see happen in A Womb with a View, too. We've included caregivers, and one of the respite teepees would be specifically for the caregivers if they needed time away. So we're really
sounds amazing.
Yeah, we're really hoping that comes to fruition, because I can't agree with you more about, you know, if we can't regulate ourselves, then we certainly can't help to regulate our loved one. And you know, I've been in those moments of crisis at the same time as Two White Feather is in his crisis, and then not getting the support from community, or at least not the type of support where they understand what's going on, and they're, you know, instead they're just judging and punishing. So, so I think it's, I totally agree with you there, and we're hoping to change that.
You know, it's so needed, and I'm so thrilled to hear you say that. So, that would be a fabulous program, and I'm sure that one teepee would not be enough.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to share with our listeners some of the information that you provided around Lakeland Treatment Center when you send that to us, and also some of Jeff Noble's workshop seminars. I know I sat in on one of them that was free, so I want to make sure our listeners have a chance to get that info too. So if you could send that to us, we'll make sure we get that up in the show notes.
Yeah, so
I will for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm gonna gift you, and actually I'm gonna gift your daughter too a medicine bag. So I'm gonna make them out of seal for you guys. So if you could send your address to Laurie there, and I'll get those two seal bags out for you. And
that's amazing! Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, one of our programs is a therapeutic crafting program. So Two White Feather, creates some wonderful things, but his medicine bags are amazing. So yeah, so we'll send those out to you for doing this. Thank you so much.
So thank you.
I absolutely am thrilled to have connected with you, and I hope we can maintain our connection because it's so important. And building this community and having people understand.
I'm not sure what happened there, but
Further emphasizing.
Yeah, exactly.
Need for understanding.
Yes, and that is very true. And you know what? I think that was actually a good spot to end off right there. Ending at understanding, how we may be, and that's including me, right? Because I know I have FASD, and I have problems. Oh, you can just ask Laurie almost every day. But, we get through it though. So, our next song is You Are Not Alone by Aqua Nibe Wabwascon. I'm not sure if I said that right, but she is a songwriter, singer, storyteller, drummer who is an indigenous queer and that has a brain that is different to multiple concussions. Her music is her medicine. So here it is. Whoops. It's sorry, I forgot to pause that. And here we go again.
One line next to you.
So that was Waterflower. A little easier to say than her native name, but she's based out of Toronto. And we picked her specifically because Laurie, when we asked her about song selections, had said she loves drumming. So that one was for you, Laurie. Thank you so much. I, for one, no longer feel alone as a caregiver and natural support to Two White Feathers. So, job well done. Our last show in the Disability Pride Month series will feature the co-creators of Out of the Box Counseling and Collaborations. So join us next Sunday, August the 4th, from 1 to 2 p.m. for that. And I'm very excited to share that after this show, Two White Feather will be hopping on his bike to raise awareness and funds for two causes that have come to light recently. We are aware of a disabled Indigenous woman who's being evicted so her landlord can do renovations, and she needs to find a place by August the 1st. And requires help with covering first and last month's rent payments. So they hope to raise $3,000. The second cause that he's riding for today is for the family of Tyler Maxey, an Afro-Indigenous man who's in need of money to cover legal fees. As the family stands tall for him in court while he's in ICU after being shot by a Toronto police officer. Once again, during a mental health crisis. We pray that he lives. Sonia Massey, a Black woman with mental health issues, shot by a U.S. officer just recently as well, did not. We pray for her and her family. Enough is enough.
So if you're in a position to help these injustice and continuing to happen, please contact us and we'll share the funds raised on Two White Feathers Change for Change bike rides today. With the parties mentioned, a loonie or a toonie does go a long way. We're off to Jacob's Lemonade Stand now, where it's a 14-year-old teen with autism who is raising money for first responders and veterans with PTSD. If you're thirsty and wanting to support Healing for Heroes, come by 356 Edwin Street in Kitchener. Again, 356 Edwin Street in Kitchener. They are there until 5. There's a free raffle too. Our therapeutic crafting program, the Creator Shelf, has gifted them a dream catcher from the bike tire. Chimigwetch. So, yeah.